You never know. You never, ever know. Welcome into Quick Slants. Hey, Kay Adams will be along shortly. But before we get to that, what do I mean by you never know? Well, with the Patriots, you never know. You know, they're 4-4. Are they sinking? Are they treading water? Or are they catching their breath to start swimming furiously? In my experience, you got to look at the little things. I know what the Patriots are on defense. They have a fixable Achilles heel, and that is dealing with dual threat quarterbacks. Aside from that, they're really friggin' good. Offensively, they are, in a word, bad. They give it away, 16 turnovers. They don't cash in the red zone. They're 29th there in red zone scoring. They get sacked a lot. They're 24th in first downs per game and 17th on third down. They just got blasted by the Bears a week ago, and Sunday was a Zach Wilson-aided win. But you never know. You can't look at this team right now and say, I really like the cut of their jib. But I think the hard part's over. I think they're going to get pretty good. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Of course, that light at the end of the tunnel could be a train. Here's the game plan, ladies and gentlemen. Trade deadline today. Deal or no deal? Spoiler, there was no deal. Back in the saddle, Mac was under center. What a guy! Lawrence Guy, irrelevant questions, and of course, the great Kay Adams, who joins us right now from the Big Apple. Hi, friend.
Hi, friend. How are you?
I am tremendous. First, I want to show people that you are here in New York City. We got a couple of shots. First, this is from, before Halloween rolled along. Here's Kay sitting on, yep, there you are. Do you see that?
Yes. That's me at Saturday Night Live. I went for the very first time ever, saw Jack Harlow. Aaron Judge is standing next to me. In walks in Travis Kelce after him, and then little old me.
You must have been little old you next to all those giant people, because you're really only just a little Cupid doll.
Just a little nugget.
Yeah, you are. You're just a speck of a human. We also have Kay. She's doing her Up and Adams program. Look at that. There she is. That is some scintillating content that she's given us. She had DK Metcalf on today. Must listen to as he explains exactly why he had to be carted off the field earlier this year to use the restroom. What is it, Kay? I can see your face.
Nothing. That was week 4. You know, if you want poop news, you come to Up and Adams on FanDuel TV at 11 a.m. Eastern. Nobody does poop breaking news like myself. Pete Carroll wanted DK Metcalf to poop on the sideline of that game because Larry Izzo, week 1, Larry Izzo, maniac that he is, pooped on the sideline and got a game ball. That's the kind of stuff you will find out on our show. But that was, I think, me on the couch after said Saturday Night Live stint. But this brings us
like the straight
to
poop.
quick fire. Somehow. Okay, let's do this. We're going to talk a little Joe Judge. First, let's take a listen to this.
Okay.
You know, some of the biggest plays Mac made the other day, you know, talking about on third downs, not ones that we necessarily converted, but playing smart ball, throwing the ball away when we need to, avoid losing yards, keep some field goal range, give Nick a chance to go out there and put points on the board. You know, sometimes you look at things and you think in terms of, okay, that's a throwaway, or, you know, there are times even that Mac took a sack and knowing how to take the sack with ball security and knowing that we weren't losing too many yards, takes out field goal range. There were decisions he has to make within the game that don't show up as a positive just to the casual fan watching it.
Okay, there is some to unpack here. Of course, this is brought to you by your local New England Honda dealers, but they're in an interesting spot here, Kay, where I think the Patriots are very concerned isn't the right word, attuned to the fact that they want to make sure that people understand that the product that Mac Jones puts on the field isn't what it necessarily looks like in the stat line. There are reasons it looks the way it does. And to hear Joe Judge explain this today, or to hear Bill Belichick talk last week about 3 games off and knocking off rust, I think it's important to the Patriots right now that people understand they are all in with Mac Jones and they want to support him, because there was much question during that kind of fractured period, which might have been overblown, but fractured period, and now they're moving forward, kid.
We want to know what you think out there. Hit us up. Hit up Tom Curran's Twitter handle, the Twitter handle for the show and network. We want to get your thoughts. We'll get some of them here on the air in a little bit. You know, the trade deadline came and went. NFC North made some noise. Everybody but the Packers, the only team that needed to do that. But in the AFC East and New England specifically, the Pats sort of stayed put today. Yeah,
phone didn't ring. Actually, it probably rang coming in because there were many players who had interest expressed in them. But in the end, the Patriots, the 2 prime guys they could have moved, Isaiah Wynn or Nelson Aguilar, probably too much of a big-ticket item either way. For them to stand pat, kind of actually explains to me they're 4-4. They don't know what they are. Are they buyers? Are they sellers? They're 4-4 team. Really, where would you add? You'd add along the offensive line, but they still have so much data they have to gather on the players that they have. And I don't think that they would be in an all-in mode right now because they're in a rebuilding year, like it or not.
It was Halloween just yesterday.
Yeah.
Lots of people dressing up as characters from Stranger Things. Let's talk about Cole Strange and Stranger Days that are going on. We love PFF. The rankings, not kind. What do you make of this? What happened to Cole?
Cole, the last 2 weeks against the Bears and then against the Jets, he kind of got overwhelmed by some outstanding guys he went against. He's not at at Tennessee Chattanooga anymore. He understands that. I don't think that this is damning, but I do think it's a little bit of a wake-up call for him, and he'll get better. Right now, as a pass blocker, he is in, the upper echelon among guards. There's 64 of them in the league. He's 43rd. As a run blocker, he's still not stout enough. He will get there, but he got Quinnen Williams done Sunday.
Ooh, Quinnen Williams playing one of the best players in the National Football League here in 2022. Let's talk about those Jets. Zach Wilson, they were all on fire, and then not a great performance from him. And here is Zach, who got a question about the Patriots at the end of his postgame presser.
Yes.
How does it exact this team, the Patriots? You haven't been here for this whole streak, but obviously you guys talked this week about getting kind of payback from last year.
Yeah, we'll have these guys in 2 weeks.
I don't know what I like more, the gum chomping or the threat. Scary, Zach. What do you like? Yeah.
He just is this ageist? I don't know. He just looks like such a young man. That's all I can think of when I watch him up there. And
I'm
I'm
trying
rooting
to go
for
to
him, of
state.
course.
I mean,
We're just trying to go to state. I will say this, that, he's a great You don't have to, he just needs to take the game as it comes to him, this Zach Wilson. I'm not trying to talk too much about the Jets, but he'll be okay if he stops putting the world on his shoulders and just plays the game as it comes to him. He tries to do too much, that Zach Wilson. That's my opinion.
That Zach Wilson does try to do too much, and it often blows up in his hand like a little grenade, and he's got to get better. And it's funny, too, because he seems cocksure that they are going to get better. All right, now it's time to go to From the Stands. Of course, we did put a poll out, as we always do, Kay. It's brought to you by Shots. You know what? They're perfecting the art of fresh. The Patriots are 4-4. They are sniffing around the hindquarters of a playoff berth. Will they make the postseason? No doubt. They breeze in. Just 3% of you thought that. 41% liked their chances. 44% said, I don't think so, hombre. And 12% said, no. Come on, do you even watch the games? Okay, did the people have responses?
I like the 41%, so you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah.
Yep, we got comments. Thanks so much, Neil, for writing in. Pats will make the playoffs. We'll just squeak in by the Chargers and Jets in the late goings to be the 6 or 7 seed, beating the Jets on Sunday. First step in wrapping that up. Michael says too many tough games at the back end of the schedule. Michael's being schedule guy. Tom, the Bears loss was inexcusable and will prove fatal. Henry, thanks for tweeting us. We love hearing from you here on Quick Slants. Feeling like a green teamer with my answer, but I don't think the team is that bad. Attaboy. And then we got, that's it, right? Oh, there we go. A little Jim Mora for us.
A little Jim Mora. Playoffs? I mean, we're just trying to win a game here. Honestly, to me, the Patriots, I predicted they would be an 8-9 team. They have an interesting stretch here. They very well could be 6-4 heading into their Thanksgiving game at Minnesota. They should be an underdog in that game. And then they try and avoid getting boat raced by the Buffalo Bills. So they'll be at 6-6 with however many games. I'm so bad on the math. No, 5 games left. They'll be 6-6 with 5 games left. Can they get in from there, Kay?
I think they can. I just like the whole idea of undersell, over deliver with this team. Nobody was expecting much when I was in New England back in the spring and then through the off season. And there's that nice small faction of the fan base that wants them and thinks that they're going to go to the playoffs, no doubt. But I will say, out of all of the 32 fan bases, and I cover them all, New England is maybe a top 3, top 5 most realistic fan base. So whether or not this team makes the playoff does not determine the fate, legacy, or future for this squad. And New England fans know it, and I appreciate that.
You know what? Okay, they are realistic, but they also are having a tremendously difficult adjustment to mediocrity. A tremendously difficult adjustment to mediocrity. Like the clothes.
So we get excited about Zappy.
No, don't get excited about Zappy. I would ask Kay about Zappy, but instead, We're going to ask Kay about the 2021 quarterbacks. Here are the first 6 selected: Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones. Kay loves to get on these things and say, don't put me on the spot. I'm not doing any lists. But I'm going to make you do it anyway.
I'm trying to look at this list. You're insane. There's too many guys on this list.
Trevor
Okay,
Lawrence,
I'm going to say.
Is he still the best?
Okay, no. I'm going to say out of all of these guys, Fields. Bad situation. If he had more talent, he'd crush it anywhere. He's a tremendous talent leader. I'm going to go Fields. Oh, man.
Would you put Mac second? High floor dude. He's a high floor individual.
Mac is going to be third for me. I'm trying to, oh man, this is not kind.
Okay, Trey Lance,
I'm not as interested in as everybody. He's out for me.
And
Trevor should probably be second, and then Zach Wilson. But I'm not. I mean, don't tell me Davis Mills isn't a winner down there for those Texans. So
you misspoke. You said Zach Wilson ahead of Mac. That's a misspeak.
No, I didn't. No.
That's a misspeak.
No, it's not.
She didn't say Trevor buckets. She said she wants Zach Wilson and she wants Mac fourth.
Are you speaking for me? Am I a puppet all of a sudden? What's
I'm your puppet. No. Hey, listen, this is about
tough question.
Growth potential. Check out the NFL coaching careers of Bill Belichick and Don Shula. That's the guy he's chasing now. 28 seasons for Bill, 33 for Don. 294 regular season wins for Bill, 328 for Don in 33 seasons. Whoa, it's a pretty big gap. Bill much better in the post. And wow, he went to 9 Super Bowls in 28 seasons? Huh, that seems a lot better than Don Shula. Be that as it may, look younger, feel younger, get your hair back. Those guys actually did okay in the hair department, both of them. It's time now for my slant. Watch out! And you know, think about it. Here is Bill Belichick at 70 years old. His team's record post-Brady is 21-21. This year, they're 4-4, and they're staggeringly mediocre, which is something I pointed out at the top of the show. They've beaten 4 teams, the Steelers, Lions, Jets, and Browns, and those teams have a combined record of 11-18. The 4 teams they lost to, not the Titans of the NFL. They are 16-16. Patriots, mentioned this as well, 29th in red zone offense. They're scoring touchdowns just 45.83% of the time. Max led them to just 7 touchdowns in his 4 games. And he's the 32nd highest rated quarterback, just ahead of Kenny Pickett and Zach Wilson and Baker Mayfield. He's 33rd in attempts, but 4th in picks. The Patriots turn it over more than anybody in the league. Why? Well, a lot of it has to do with coaching and system changes that Bill called for. If the changes are the price of success and the system switches for the good of the team, then what does the penalty spike have to do with? Because that goes to coaching too, right? They're 7th in the NFL in pre-snap penalties. They're tied for second worst with 13 more penalties than their opponents. They blast their own feet off frequently. Another Super Bowl for Bill Belichick? He may never win another playoff game. And yet, I am not here to bury Bill Belichick. God, no. I'm here to celebrate the guy because I would never, ever, ever bet against Bill Belichick. That 21-21 since the greatest player of all time left, what would other teams have been? They're still at 500 over that stretch. Bad for Bill is 8-9. It might be a humorless, miserable slog to 348 wins. And right now, Bill doesn't have the traction that he needs. But when they were the 31st best team in the league in 2001, nobody saw that rise coming either. The team had been 5-13 in its previous 18. I'm just saying. I am just saying. Okay? Here comes the poll. I asked you the question. Bill Belichick now trails Don Shula by 22 wins. When will Bill get number 348 and pass Shula? Remember, he's got 9 games left this week. Early in 2024, that means 22 wins. Late in 2024, 69% and I said that. 12% said he's not going to get him. In come the comments. First up, our guy Harry Mann Jr., a loyal follower of the program, says, I say late 2024. Bill likes coaching, and it should be his decision on how long he coaches. Matt Decker says, the more interesting question, does Bill pass Shula while with the NEP or not? That's New England Patriots. And finally, Mark Peterson says, sometime when Josh McDaniels is back at offensive coordinator. Which neatly dovetails into our risers and our fallers coming up right now. And here are our risers. first up, it's old man Dev. Devin McCourty, 2 picks the other day, stabilizing the back end of the defense. That is a portion of the defense, the safety group with Adrian Phillips, Kyle Duggar, who was out on Sunday, and Devin McCourty that one does not have to worry about in general. And that's a stabilizing part of the Patriots defense and part of the reason they help to prop themselves up. Next up, who would have thunk it? Tua Tagovailoa makes our risers. He continues to be on point. Look, we knew that he was accurate, but we hated his delivery. We hated the fact that he brought the ball down to his thigh before he released it. But look what he did the other day. 29 for 36, 382, 3 touchdowns in a comeback win over the Lions. Yeah, the Lions, I don't care. He still looked good. Run those plays back. Gosh, if you get a Tyreek Hill and a Jalen Waddle, things are pretty good for you. Next up, we got some fallers. Josh McDaniels blanked in New Orleans, issuing an apology to Raider Nation. It's bleak for old Josh. 2-5 so far on the season. Way in the rear view are those games that they were losing by a smidge when you're losing 24-0. He's got to get things back on track in a hurry. I didn't really even like the effort there. And a faller, one more. Oh, it's the Bengals. We also had Tom Brady in here. We're going to skip on that because it was tight on time. Brady didn't look good last Thursday. The Bengals didn't look good. 32-13 losers on Monday night against the Cleveland Browns. The Bengals, of course, are on the Patriots menu later in the season. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's the great Lawrence Guy. You know him as a dominant defensive tackle. I know him as a charitable individual and the pride of Las Vegas, Nevada. You grew up in Las Vegas, huh?
I did. That's a unique experience.
What would be something that people perceive about Las Vegas that really isn't true?
That we all live in hotels. That was the biggest thing going into college. And when I got into the NFL, they was like, hey, what hotel do you live in? I'm like, nah, there's houses outside of the strip. And they're like, really? And it's mind-blowing that people really think that we live in hotels.
Now let's get into the food department, because I would imagine you like to eat, bigger fella. When you are beyond starving, what do you want to eat?
What state are we in?
Oh, good question. Let's go down south. Maybe you want to have some barbecue?
So there I go with a good brisket.
Okay.
You know, it goes a good brisket, a little bit of ribs. All depends on the place that it is. If they have a good, nice rib, I do that. If they're known for the season, I might do a pulled pork. Or if we're really in the South, I might go for some crawfish. You know, people don't like crawfish.
They're bugs.
It's an experience. If you can eat lobster and crab, you can eat crawfish.
I can't eat lobster and crab. I just don't like. They look like. I'm kind of meat and potatoes. I know. I'm missing out.
You're missing out on life.
You, as a great dad, which I know you are, all dads eventually get recruited while in the pool to throw kids. Mm-hmm. How far can you throw a kid?
Well, far enough until my kids tell me I don't like that no more. So I said, is that far enough? Yeah. And then like, how high? I said, until you tell me you don't like it no more. I think my daughter hit me one time. She's like, hey, that's a little too high. I was like, you got it. I said, my bad.
All right, this is my favorite part of the program, and this is the last part of the program. It's a little item I call, hey, what's your number? Your number is 93. Is that the number that you would prefer to have if you had your choice of any number?
Yeah. I picked it when I got here. High school 55, college I was 50. Then in the NFL, you just get what you get. But you want to be in the 90s as a D lineman in my eyes. Because the 90s was just, all the greats were in the 90s.
I don't want to not highlight the amazing artwork on your arm. What is it? And Jeff's going to take a look at a little bit of it here.
It's Old Vegas. I decided to get Old Vegas all on my arm. Pretty much it's Sin City to its fullest, but in an old school way. And we just pretty much put the description of what I believed in and what it was back then and what it kind of is now, just in a different metaphor.
How long did it take?
A long time. And it hurt.
And it hurt. I'll tell you, the Patriots, they employ a lot of guys, but they have, by and large, some outstanding individuals who do a ton of philanthropic work and are really enjoyable to talk to. Not saying every single guy's enjoyable, a saint, any of that, but I've met some really outstanding guys. He's absolutely one of them. Meanwhile, Indianapolis Colts are on deck for the Patriots, and you remember this from back in 2017 after Josh left him standing at the altar? Chris Ballard?
The rivalry is back on.
The what's on the what? The rivalry's back on. You guys are 44-1 since you said that. You've been to the playoffs 2 times, okay? You don't have any playoff wins. You just bounced your offensive coordinator, Marcus Brady. Now Frank Reich, play caller. Had a fall guy. He'll probably be the offensive coordinator. And you got a kid named Sam Ellinger, second-year quarterback, making his second start. I don't like it. I don't like it for them.